How you doing today? So we already went over how to do Isard 11 easily. It turned out it was a lot easier than we thought, and we also went over KDG1 strategies for easy runs for Isard and for trivia. But you see, I myself have not covered trivia level 11 yet, and I found a team that makes it very simple. The only thing you need to do is bring 5 units that manipulate attack bar and then have a bunch of speed on them, and the boss gets maybe 1 turn, and then that's it. You just sit there and beat on the boss until she dies from that point on. So like, it's not, of course, it's not like the fastest team in the world, but it's definitely very efficient and very safe. As long as your team takes first turn, you pretty much got the boss on the ropes from the get-go. It's actually pretty funny to see how many turns you take before she actually gets in there. So without wasting too much of your time, I'll jump in and we can look at a run in real time, and then I'll explain to you why it works, why we chose our units, and then I'll go over the stats that I have on these guys too. This is by no means like the fastest team, but it's very safe and reliable, and I can explain to you why right here. So since Nadine was frontlined in our position, she's going to eat most of the attacks from the flowers, you know, leaving your more squishy units like Kairos and Nima in the back so that they're not really too much focused. There isn't really a lose condition for this first wave unless you just positioned wrong and then you lose some squishy to the flowers is really the only thing that's going to mess you up. Now this second phase, I'm going to go ahead and say that there is no lose condition at all, because we're about to see how easy this becomes. The red flowers are super easy to kill. They have like no HP, all they do is bleed. This mini boss is not getting a turn. He will be stunnable, he will be able to just be, you know, confused, speed broken. His speed is already really low, so he is just not getting a turn from this point forward. And of course, last phase is boss phase. Now we go ahead, you know, we put on speed break. Kairos is decreasing attack bar. Ziv is decreasing attack bar. Nima is increasing attack bar. Josephine is increasing attack speed. So after the boss gets off her first hit, there's really not going to be any more hits coming out of that boss. So as long as you're able to survive that initial impact of the first attack, you can very quickly recover and see from this point on, the boss is not going to get a turn. The amount of attack bar decrease we've brought with us is a very, you know, sustainable amount of attack bar decrease to ensure that we're decreasing more than the boss is increasing, as well as the speed break on the boss is going to make her attack bar increase half as fast. The attack speed buff that we get from Josephine is going to ensure that our attack bar increases twice as fast. Now, if I position them a little better, if I position them a little better and I pushed Ziv forward and I pushed Nima forward, then they would also be in the range of the attack speed buff and they would be taking more turns too. But even though they're still not in the range, it doesn't matter because the boss just simply cannot keep up. It's very easy to just lock her down at this point and just watch your team go nuts on her until she dies. Just like that. It's literally as easy as that. Definitely just saw how easy and cakey these runs can possibly be, but if you want to go over the stats on these characters, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up so you can see how underbuilt some of these characters actually are. Kairos is a lot of people's first pick. A lot of people have Kairos as like one of their main mercenaries, so mine's only level 44, super boosted +2. If you check his abilities, a lot of them aren't even at A. His exclusive equipment is just the legendary one, but it's garbage. Dominant ability set, HP %, really nothing of note. His skill card I only have leveled up to +1, and we're also going to notice, if you saw whenever you live the first hit, that doesn't take that much HP and defense to live. If you're super boosted to like, you know, at least 48 and you have your abilities powered up even mildly. So whenever we go over his equipment, you're gonna see something funny. Attack speed, obviously the more speed, you know, the more hits, the less attack bar the boss gets. We're going to see my ring is a defense % on my Kairos. So definitely slows down the runs, but you know, since my Kairos is only level 44, he's not able to eat that first hit without a little bit of extra help. And to make it even funnier, the boots are HP %. Again, if your Kairos is level 48 and you have any work put into him at all, he's not going to have as much trouble as mine does surviving that initial hit, but trust me, if your Kairos is more built, you can definitely put attack percent on the boots or whatever percent on the ring so that you could do more damage and get that run down faster. And if you want to look at his total stats, we got him right here. He's only at 1366 speed, and that's the only notable stat I'm going to point out from here forward. You can definitely pause to see any other stats you want to see. My next super kind of underbuilt unit is going to be my Ziv. We see he's only super boosted +3. I don't even have his legendary exclusive equipment. His abilities are all at S, but they're not like double S, not triple S, nothing crazy. And his skill card isn't really that promoted, and the promotions are in an ability that doesn't help me that much. So it would not be hard to, surpass my Ziv with whatever you have going on your Ziv. We have attack speed, obviously. I'm pretty sure they're all on attack speed, but I'll just click it anyways. And then crit rate, because crit rate on Ziv, he has to crit in order to decrease the attack bar. And this last one is effect accuracy, because the attack bar decrease can also be resisted. So it's helpful to have some effect accuracy on him as well. And his total speed for that fight is going to be 1329. So this isn't great speed. It's just high enough so that everybody takes first turn. The next unit that we were using is Josephine, only super boosted +3. This is a little bit of a non-traditional pick, but I'll let you know why I picked her. I have her abilities. She was one of my main mercs and for like the first week. So she's a little bit built, but nothing crazy. Still just a purple, exclusive equipment, nothing crazy. Attack speed, crit rate just because of the attack speed sub, and then effect accuracy. I'll tell you why effect accuracy. If you notice, I have her skill card promoted to +6 so that I can promote this third skill, and whenever you promote this third skill, it increases the attack speed of the allies for 2 turns with a 60% chance. Now you need accuracy to increase that up to 100% chance. So now whenever she uses her third skill, it will always supply an attack speed buff to our allies in the range, and if you group them up better, you can definitely hit everybody with that attack speed buff, and your entire team is taking turns twice as fast. So that, I think, is a very good, ability. I think it's a little bit underrated. Everyone's still working on some new guys, but this was my fun little project, and I don't really regret her that much. Oh, the speed is 1314. So again, nothing crazy. Pretty self-explanatory why we brought Nima, but the thing about there's a couple things I want to point out real quick. One, skill card, not promoted at all. Rage card, not promoted at all. Abilities can have room for improvement. Her exclusive equipment, possibly the worst one I could have gotten, with a violent set and a looting set. 2 sets I'm definitely not going to be using on my Nima. The reason I have her is because of the passive. If we see, whenever you have her SSR skill card, increases the attack bar of all allies excluding yourself by 100 when the wave begins. So basically your entire team gets a 10% boost of their attack bar, and that's less speed that you need to actually get first turn on the boss. So if I wanted 1300 is no longer the requirement of speed in order to get first turn if I have this passive. So I could probably get away with 1200, maybe 1220 or somewhere around there, and still be taking first turn on the boss. Now, of course, first skill to decrease the attack bar, and then just even though the trivia boss is only one enemy, a lot of her other abilities don't benefit that much because they benefit more the more enemies are on the field, but it's still just something to help, even if this only decreases the attack bar by 200, that's still 200 attack bar decrease. This is still 100 attack bar decrease. This is still, 50 attack bar increase for all my allies. It's just a little bit of help, but she's there mostly for the passive and just the little added bonuses of her abilities. Obviously, attack speed, we have pin rate just because of the attack speed sub, and we have defense percent. She actually benefits from HP percent, so if you could if you could just punch her, if you could push some HP percent into her subs or her main stats, it's going to greatly increase the amount that she heals. Her stats are going to be looking like this. And her attack speed, 1280, so nothing great. Her passive actually doesn't affect herself, so it's possible that you could supplement a rage card to help give her the boost that she's giving your allies as well. And last but certainly not least, this is my bread and butter. So she's a little bit weird right now. She's super boosted +5 level 50. I picked her as my main merc, but her abilities aren't maxed. She's kind of lacking on some of them. They're only S. Her exclusive equipment isn't really helpful for us here. Effect resistance isn't a good set for her, neither is pin rate, especially for trivia. That might be useful for raid boss, but not for trivia. She's on attack speed, HP percent, and then defense percent because she likes to eat, some of the attacks from the flowers in the first wave, and she just is there to soak a little bit of damage. But the most important thing is that these skills are absolutely Very useful for the trivia boss. The second skill supplies us with a speed break so that we can make the boss take less turns overall. And the third skill just straight up decreases enemy attack bar by 500. So when that's skilled up, that's a big deal. That's a lot of attack bar decrease. Very, very useful, very, very helpful. Not to mention the first skill, whenever it's skilled up, gives us a defense break. So that's a very useful debuff for us to bring as well to ensure that the boss is taking more damage overall. And these are going to be her total stats. Only 1268 speed, not quite enough to break the first turn threshold, but with Nima's passive, that was, we got rid of that problem, and now the passive pushes her passive threshold required. So these are the units that I use for like my super duper safe, trivia team. It's like 20 minutes to do a ×10. It's not super quick, but then again, trivia cost a lot. It's like a lot of energy. So really, unless you're just stacking thousands of energy, it's still pretty efficient to get done what you need to get done. And if you are having trouble with that, then hopefully this will help you or give you like a little bit of a goal to work on. My units, you can see they're not very built for this, and they're still completely able to take care of it, no problem. So if you focused on them a little bit more, then I'm sure like your Kairos, leveling him up better than mine, going to take no time at all, and then you'll have this on farm too. But that's about it. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop in my Discord and ask it. We have new players and veteran players in there alike. They like to help each other out. If you have a question, we'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Or, just drop a meme in chat. It's a friendly bunch, we just have fun. But other than that, y'all, that's going to do it for me today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.